It is very, very confusing on Amazon, the difference between a UPC barcode and Amazon's Fnsku. So, UPC barcode is a universal product code, and every single product that is unique and is listed on Amazon requires a UPC code of its own, unless there is an exception to that, but that is the main rule. And it used to be the case you could buy your UPC barcodes from places like Speedy Barcodes and Nationwide Barcodes and places like that, and that would be okay to do that. And they were what's called resellers for barcodes from the main body of barcodes originators, which is a company called GS1. And then Amazon took a stake in GS1 and the shit hit the fan. Because now the situation we find ourselves in with regards to Amazon is that it is becoming more and more clear to me that if you want to do well long term on Amazon, then you pretty much, I think now, you've got to get a GS1 barcode. Now, with that being said, let me just give you a little bit of caveat first. Firstly, UPC barcode, every single product needs one. You just need it to get yourself listed on Amazon. So if I come over to here, and what are we looking at? Add products. So from here, for instance, I can add a new product onto Amazon using the UPC or an ASIN number or an EAN. Well, UPC and EAN, that's pretty much exactly the same things, okay? So don't get too caught up between the two things of them. They're basically the exact same thing. Yeah. That's pretty easy. So you need one of those to get yourself started. However, you do not need, I can see my brain is completely all over the place. You do not need to have it on your product. You just need to have it so that Amazon knows your product is unique. That's the purpose of it as far as Amazon goes. And then after that, you don't need it for your product. So let's just try listing a new item here using this UPC barcode just here. Oops. Let's see if I can make this comprehensive for you so you really understand it. So now I have got the ability to sell this product on Amazon, which marketplace is in Australia. Okay, so I can now sell this product on Amazon in Australia. And if I do that, because I've used the same UPC number, what that means is it will drag the reviews, all those reviews, it will drag those with it when I come to sell it, which is a cool thing to do. Okay, so what Amazon is trying to do with UPC barcodes is to systemize and standardize the whole thing. So that's what Amazon's trying to do. And it's also trying to stop people getting ripped off on Amazon, which is good for us. So that's a good thing. Now, bad things. The main originator of barcodes around the world is GS1, and therefore Amazon wants you to use GS1 barcodes to list your products. The downside to that is barcodes from GS1 are actually quite expensive, like 60, 70 bucks a pop. They can be a lot cheaper if you buy them in bulk, but 60, 70 bucks a pop on average to go and buy yourself a barcode versus 10 bucks a pop if you buy them from somewhere like Nationwide Barcodes. So you might be thinking, well, I should therefore save myself some money and use Nationwide or Speedy. However, and it used to be my advice, by the way, to use Nationwide or Speedy, but there's been so many things that's happened recently around GS1 that and with barcodes, and specifically with regards to brand registry on Amazon, that I now believe there are sufficient advantages to be had from immediately trying to get your product brand registered. I've talked about this previously, but I think that's now the way to go, because you get such unique opportunities on Amazon that you don't get unless you are brand registered, and it's clear to me that that's the way they're going. So if you want to become brand registered, you must have a GS1 barcode from GS1. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult to become brand registered. Which sucks major league, okay? But that's what's happening. So get your barcodes from GS1, or you can get what's called a GTIN exemption. And a GTIN, that's like a UPC exemption. Let's just go with this one. I'll give you this link as well, so you've got it all, and you can see exactly how to do this. Link, send to all. There you go. So you can request a GTIN exemption from here. All right, and it's pretty easy to do. And if you do that, then you do not need to get a UPC barcode. And basically what you're doing, what you're saying to Amazon is, the only place you're going to sell your product is on Amazon, and therefore you do not need a UPC barcode. All you need is what's called a Fnsku, and I'll come to those in a second, okay? So by requesting a GTIN exemption, you are agreeing to only sell your product on Amazon, and by doing so, you can save yourself, 60, 70, 80 bucks by not having a UPC barcode from GS1. And that same GTIN exemption is also good enough for brand registry as well. So there's smiles all round by doing this. So you get to save money and you still get all the good stuff that goes along with it. All right. Now I know this is getting a little bit complicated and my foggy brain is not helping the situation, but let's see if we can continue on. So that is UPC barcodes. And notice that we have them right here, and you only use them to list your product. You do not need to put your UPC barcode on your product at all for Amazon. Next, Fnskus. So an Fnsku is a fulfillment networking stock keeping unit, and that lovely long acronym, basically what that means is it's Amazon's own internal way of tracking your products in the FBA warehouses. So every time somebody orders a product, so if I order these lovely makeup brushes for my daughter, for instance, what will happen is somebody at Amazon will get that order, will go to the big pile of makeup brushes that are in stock, and they will remove one of them. They will scan the barcode on the side of the product, and that will tell this person's Seller Central account that one of their stock has been sold, and it will reduce their stock levels commensurately in the Seller Central. So it's the way that Amazon tracks and monitors packages in FBA warehouses. That's what a Fnsku is, and therefore it is a very, very important piece of code. The Fnsku, unlike a UPC, has to be on your products. It absolutely has to be on your products. On the outside of your product, very, very easily read, and so it can be scanned by a QR scanner. If you think about it, it makes sense why they would be so full on about that. So that's an Fnsku, and you get your Fnsku as soon as you convert your listing over to no, I can't show you that, unfortunately. Over to FBA. So all listings, when you list them on Amazon, they start as FBA FBM listings, and then you have to physically convert them into FBA. It's very, very simple to do. As soon as you've done that, you're then able to print out your Fnsku so you can apply it to your products. Now, I hope that makes sense. Anything else I need to tell you before I answer questions around that? So, the bottom line, you need an Fnsku and you need a UPC. The Fnsku is free and must be placed, and it's given to you by Amazon and must be put onto your product. And Amazon can do that for you in the form of a sticker, or your supplier can do that for you. UPC, you need a UPC to list your product on Amazon, but then the usefulness of a UPC is done. It's done. You don't need it for anything else with regards to selling on Amazon. You should get your UPCs from GS1, but you can also apply for a GTIN exemption through Amazon, which means that you don't need a UPC at all. I can't think of anything else I've missed. I think we're good. All right, so let me see if I can answer some questions about that. What's this? Ash, I've applied for brand registration in Australia. Does that mean my brand will be recognized while selling in USA? No, it doesn't. Can I get the same privilege? No, that's not what it means at all. It doesn't mean that at all. So your brand is, well, there's two elements to that question. So your product, your brand, the trademark that you've applied for, is country specific. So there's the external protection that your trademark gets you outside of Amazon from people coming and trying to steal your business and steal your intellectual property. And then there's the internal reason we get a trademark, which is for brand registry. Externally, you are country specific. So if you've got a trademark in Australia, well, that trademark is only applicable here in Australia. You can't use that same trademark in America, for instance, to try and protect your assets in America. So is that. Second part of that is, what about if you've got a trademark and brand registry in Australia, does that brand registry then follow you into new markets? And that answer is a little bit more nuanced, because right now Amazon is allowing some countries and some trademarks to follow you around, but it's not all of them. So I can't give you a good answer, unfortunately, because Amazon hasn't made it clear what they're allowing and what they're not allowing. My advice would be to try getting brand registry in America, for instance, with your Australian trademark, and to see if they let it go. And if they do, awesome. And if they don't, then you'll know that you'll need a second mark in that country, Ash. I know that sucks, but Amazon is being... It's like they're trying to figure out themselves what they're going to let pass, and so there's no hard and fast rules yet. Lance, can you go GTI exemption when product testing? But if it becomes a business, then get a UPC. Yep, you can. So you can do that for sure. So Lance's question was, can you go get a GTIN exemption when product testing? Yes, is the answer to that. But if it becomes a big seller, then get a UPC for it. Yes, is the answer to that too. So remember, if you've got the only time that you actually really need a UPC barcode is if you ever plan to sell your product outside of the Amazon architecture. So on Walmart, on eBay, on your own website, on Facebook, whatever it might be, anywhere outside the Amazon architecture. As soon as you decide to do that, then you'll need a UPC barcode, and that UPC barcode should also then be printed on your packaging. But that's a different conversation. Hope that helps, Lance. Maria, can you and how do you swap out existing codes? So if you've got, this is also an interesting question. So Maria's question, can you swap out existing UPC codes with GS1 for existing products? So if you have got a product live on Amazon already, and you've already got your UPC barcode, but you got that UPC barcode from Nationwide or Speedy or something like that, but Amazon has cleared it and passed it, then you're good. It's okay. You get grandfathered in to this new GS1 regime that Amazon has put in place. Okay, so if you're already selling but you've got a Speedy barcode or a Nationwide one, don't worry, that's no dramas. You're not going to get your listing deactivated. Could you imagine what would happen in that situation? Amazon would lose 95% of its catalog overnight because most people have not got GS1 barcodes. So don't worry about that, Maria. It's absolutely fine. Can you change yeah, same question. Fnsku, says Jenny. So I have this on my box, my product. Do I now need to put a sticker over the remaining 800 or so boxes? I don't understand that, Jenny. So I have this, so the Fnsku, so I have this on the box, my product. Do I now, what would you need to put a sticker over for, Jen? I don't follow your question, love. So you must have your Fnsku showing on your box. You do not need to have your UPC barcode on your packaging unless you plan to sell it on other products, on other platforms though. But you don't need to as far as Amazon's concerned. So the only thing that Amazon gives a shit about is the Fnsku code. That's the only thing they care about. Everything outside of that, they couldn't give a shit. As far as your packaging is concerned. Sadie, do you need a UPC for each product? Or only your brand? Yeah, you need it for each product that you sell. So let's just come back here, look. So you can see here that this makeup brush set comes in 5 different variations, and those variations are color variations, okay? So each product, that's a product with this particular color, rose gold, but that's also a product, this Y black, and this Y golden black, and Y golden pink, and Y purple. Well, they're also individual products as far as Amazon's concerned. So each one of them will need its own UPC barcode. Let's just see if we can go back up. Where are they all? It's just not got it. Okay, no worries. But when they set these up, each of them would need its own UPC barcode. So that variation would need one, that variation would need one, that variation needs one, blah de blah de blah. Each variation of a product needs its own UPC. But this is where it can be confusing. So let me say this too. If you've got 1,000 of this product in stock, then you need one UPC barcode for all 1,000 of that stock. But that same barcode is printed onto each 1,000 unit. Ditto with 1,000 of those in stock. Ditto with 1,000 of those in stock. Same. How do you send your... I don't know what that means, TP. Carl, are there any other benefits to having a GTI exemption? Yes, I need hot brandy. That's a great idea. Are there any? There are no other benefits over than the fact that you don't need to pay for a GS1 barcode. That's the only benefit of having GTIN exemption through Amazon. However, the second that you start selling on another platform, you'll need a UPC barcode anyway, so you've got to get that anyway. But you can have it retrospectively for your product. So if you start selling on Amazon, for instance, and then decide later on that you're going to start selling on eBay, and you should do that, then you can just get yourself a UPC barcode then at that point. Carlon, do you need a UPC sell on your own website? Well, it depends. You've got to think what the purpose of the UPC code is. A UPC code is just a way of tracking your product around the world. Basically, that's what a UPC barcode does. It's a unique, 12 character code that allows you to track your product all around the world. Okay, so do you need one of those to sell on your own website? No, you do not. There's no requirement to have one if you're selling directly on your own website. It's only when you're selling through something like through a second platform, a third-party selling platform like Amazon or eBay or Walmart, especially Walmart actually, Facebook or something like that, that you would need one. But your own website, then nope, you wouldn't need one for that. Amazon, you don't need one for Amazon because you can just get a GTIN exemption if you want to. I got it now, Jenny. All right, cool. Hayden, the Fnsku must come along. Yep, cool. Thanks for that, Hayden. Marcel, do you have to close the UPC code when you are selling wholesale and only keep the Fnsku? Do you have to close the UPC code? I'm not sure I understand what you mean by close, Marcel. Do you have to close the UPC code when you are selling wholesale and only keep the Fnsku? Well, if you are wholesaling a product, chances are that product will already have a UPC barcode on it. So if you are going to ship those products into Amazon FBA and sell them through FBA, then you will need to cover that UPC barcode with an Fnsku barcode. I think that answers your question. Yeah, I've answered that for you already. Karen, is the Fnsku different in each market? Yes, it is. Good question. So Karen says, is the Fnsku barcode different in each individual Amazon marketplace? And the answer to that is yes. For every marketplace, you will get a new Fnsku code. You'll get a new one. So that's why it's important to go through the process each time you open in a new marketplace of setting up your listing, making it FBA, and then getting the new code. Please talk about how to get ungated. No, I'm not talking about that. If you get a GTIN exemption from Amazon, then decide to get a UPC to sell on Amazon, does that then cancel the exemption on Amazon? Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't cancel the exemption. No. Not. Are there a shitload of criteria, hoops you need to jump through to get the GTI exemption from Amazon, or is it a relatively easy process? I like a shitload of hurdles and criteria and hoops for people to have to jump through to sell on Amazon. I really like that. And I wish there were more things that people had to jump through, because that would then put unscrupulous folks off selling on Amazon, and that's good for all of us. So don't be put off by difficulty. Difficulty is good for selling. It stops assholes, you know what I mean? So don't worry about that, Zane. You don't want it to be easy. You want it to be doable. That's what you want. Is it a pain in the arse to do? Jeez, I don't know. It depends on your definition of that, I guess. But it looks pretty easy. Look, looks pretty easy to me. They make it easy enough to do. I am told that it's pretty easy. I haven't done it, but I'm told. So all of mine, I'm moving everything towards GS1. But I sell all over the place, so it makes sense for me to do that. Mimi, if I have a GTIN exemption in Australia, do I have to reapply for GTIN exemption in the US when I get there? No, you do not. That's a good question, Mimi. So when you list your product, you'll do what I just did here. So when you list your product in, say, America, you'll come here and you'll list the ASIN number. So let's just do that. I can show you. Just get that ASIN. Dunk. you'll list the ASIN number, like that, and get to find it, and there it is. And so it'll find it that way for you, Mimi. So if you are GTIN exempt in one country, then that exemption, as far as Amazon's concerned, will follow you around into other countries as well. Laura, if you have stock, if you stop stocking a product and move on, can you reuse the UPC for a new product? No, you cannot. So once a UPC barcode has been assigned to a product, not just on Amazon this isn't, but let's just talk about Amazon. So once a UPC barcode has been assigned to a product, that's it. That UPC barcode has gone. And there has been some unscrupulous resellers of barcodes who just sell, used barcodes to people, and it gets them in all sorts of problems. So no, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Okay, so Bradley says, I got a GTIN exemption in Australia for 6 products and it was easy. It took a few days. Perfect. Thanks for that, Bradley. He said that they were pedantic about the photos, but that's it. All right, cool. All right, so have I kind of done this to death for you? Do you feel like you've really got this now?
Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales have used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.